Today we're going to talk about a cryptocurrency that I haven't really discussed all that much on this channel, if at all, but have been watching fairly closely over the last, I don't know, maybe like 2 to 3 months, and I have finally decided to invest in it, and that is Salt. Now, Salt is a cryptocurrency that allows for collateral-based loans based on blockchain assets, which probably sounds fairly confusing if you haven't read about the project before. But fairly simply, let's imagine that you have $125,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? If you wanted to get a cash-based loan using your Bitcoin as collateral, you simply aren't going to be able to do that. No bank is going to offer you a collateral-based loan on Bitcoin. They may offer it to you on cars, or obviously a mortgage is probably the most common type of collaterally based loan. But when it comes to Bitcoin, you're not going to be able to get a loan based off of it. Salt is a platform that is designed to basically be an intermediary between you, the borrower, and a bunch of lenders that don't really want to deal with Bitcoin directly. So Salt sort of created a smart contract as well as what they call the Oracle, which essentially is a way to do a maintenance call in the event that you default on your loan or whatever else, which sells the collateral and returns it to the lender. Essentially, what it's trying to do is it's trying to create a marketplace between you, the borrower, and a network of lenders. And that's as simple as that. So what you have to do, again, if you had $125,000 worth of Bitcoin, you could actually get a $100,000 cash-based loan using the Salt platform, theoretically at least. At this point, there's no product. However, it is anticipated that they will be launching their platform in December. And at least it will only be based on Bitcoin at the beginning, so you won't be able to do it with Ether or any other cryptocurrency on this list, aside from Bitcoin, but that is anticipated to change over time. And if you go to their website here, this is saltlending.com. If you click on this benchmarks button at the top, they will actually show you what exactly they are intending to do over time. You can see that in Q1 of 2018, they're anticipated to have Ether collateralized loans, right? And they're going to try to continue to offer collateralized loans, with Q3 2018 supposedly being the point at which you can take your altcoins and borrow cash based off of them with these loans. Now, at this point in time, as I mentioned, they don't have anything. There's no product at all. There's no purpose for the Salt token. However, if they are able to successfully launch the service starting in December, sometime this month, I imagine that a lot of people are going to use it, and here's why. This market at the moment, I have mentioned this before, is sort of filled with irrational exuberance, and there's going to be people that want to leverage their positions, and that's exactly what Salt allows you to do, assuming their platform works. And I want to say that this is the biggest risk factor for Salt. There are some serious regulatory implications of using or creating a lending platform. Lending is actually one of the most tightly regulated industries in the entire world, and they actually acknowledge this in their white paper. If I go a little bit further down here, so you can see here they mention all of these different acts that they will actually have to be in compliance with, and they actually are hiring people for compliance, and that makes perfect sense to me because they absolutely need to. If you go to the careers section of their website, they actually are hiring a number of different people. And you can see here Senior Loan Operations Associate as well as Compliance Officer. So they are a team that is attempting to do this the professional way, from what I can tell. It does seem like it's a legitimate team. It seems like it's a bunch of people that really are sort of like this startup mentality. I will tell you that I don't know for sure how legitimate this is going to end up being, because I don't know if they have the network of lenders that they boast that they have. We're not going to find out until they launch the platform. So what I want to emphasize about this particular investment is that it is super high risk, because number one, it is relying on them launching the platform in December, and number two, it is hoping that they actually have the network of lenders that they brag about, and number three, that they aren't going to get hit hard with regulations, that they are in fact complying with them, and they don't have to worry about being taken down by the government for whatever reason. So what I want to emphasize, very important with this, is that you should only invest what you're willing to fully lose, not mostly lose, not 50%, not 75%, fully lose. Okay? So be aware of that. I bought in at 40,000 and a half roughly Satoshi, so roughly somewhere around 40,500. I expect that we are going to see Salt go up substantially in the event that it actually is a successful platform. I mention this because, as I was saying before, there is a rational exuberance in this market. People are going to, essentially, what they're going to do, let's say you have $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, which at this point is effectively one Bitcoin, right? If you wanted to get a cash-based loan based off of that Bitcoin, you might get somewhere in the ballpark of, say, like $8,000 or so, right? So if you get an $8,000 cash-based loan and still get to hold the Bitcoin, right, it'll actually be stored in a contract. So of course, you will have to repay the loan before you have access to that Bitcoin, but it is still yours, and the capital gains on that Bitcoin will still be yours. What I suspect people are going to do is they're going to take their Bitcoin, they're going to put it in the smart contracts that manage these loans. They're going to take the loans and then they're going to reinvest back into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now, should you do this? Absolutely not. Okay? 99% of people should not do that because it is literally playing with fire. Because number one, well, it's not literally, but you get the point. You have interest rate payments that you have to make, okay? More simply known as just interest payments. I don't know why I said interest rate. Anyway, you have interest payments that you have to make, so it's not just principal repayments. And in addition to that, you're also risking the Bitcoin that you already have in the event that the value goes down, right? Leverage is a double-edged sword. In the event that Bitcoin goes up substantially, you'll be able to cover the interest rate payment. I keep saying that, interest payment. And you'll also be able to cover all of the principal because you'll have these gains. You'll be able to make an early repayment of your loan and you'll be happy, right? That's what happens if Bitcoin goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, however, number one, you're going to get a maintenance call, okay? And number two, if you took the loan and reinvested it back into Bitcoin, you're not going to have as much to repay the loan with. So now you're going to have to rely on your savings or you're going to have to rely on your income or whatever else to be able to pay off the loan. So I do not recommend doing this. I do not recommend taking loans to invest back into the market. However, I suspect that a lot of people are going to do this. Unfortunately, no matter how you look at it, I think a lot of people are going to do this. I think that's how a lot of people are going to use the Salt lending platform. They're going to use it as a way to leverage their trades. There are some exchanges that offer leverage, but this is a way that you can get it essentially on anything because it's cash, right? So you can effectively use it for any purpose and you can use it on any cryptocurrency anywhere, right? Because cash can be eventually converted into any of these cryptocurrencies. So what I suspect we're going to see is we're going to see a bunch of people borrowing against their Bitcoin and making very high risk decisions in order to be able to pay off both their principal of the loan as well as the interest. And it's going to result in a market that gets highly leveraged. I think we're going to end up with a market, if Salt is very successful, I actually suspect it's going to pump a ton more capital into the market just around the same time, assuming that this launches in mid-December to late December. It's going to happen at roughly the same time as futures happen, which is December 18th. So this is, I think, one of the most interesting developments that we're going to be able to watch over the month of December. And I wanted to have some exposure to it, so I did, in fact, invest into Salt here. And I actually think it's a good opportunity. It's a high-risk opportunity. Again, only invest what you're willing to lose. Number one, we don't know if they have the platform. And number two, we don't know if they have the network of lenders that's required to make this platform work. And there's actually other reasons too, mostly related to regulatory risk that you'd want to be very careful with this. However, I do think that it's a strong investment at this point in time. It's up to you as to whether or not you want to take a risk in waiting for it to go back down a little bit. I can tell you that it's sort of been floating in this range where every time it comes up to roughly 45,000 Satoshi in the last couple of days, it keeps bouncing off of that level and going back down. If you want to take a risk and see if you can pick it up for cheaper, that's up to you. But I, at this point, am fairly bullish on it, and I'm going to initiate a position that I'm willing to lose, but still sizable enough that in the event that this ends up being a success, it will actually make a difference in my portfolio. As usual, this is not investment advice. I want to be very clear about that because normally I don't make this disclaimer in the videos, but I sort of have to when it's a cryptocurrency that's fairly small like this. It's not that small, but it's like a mid-cap to small cap type cryptocurrency. You have to make decisions based off of your own due diligence. You have to make decisions based off of what you think about the markets, not based off of what I think. This is just a chance that I'm taking on a cryptocurrency that I view to be very high risk, very high reward. So, as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to support me, there are some Amazon affiliate links in the description where I will receive a small commission if you make any order within the next 24 hours after clicking one of those links, even if it's not for the item linked. So check those out if you're interested. I also have a Coinbase referral link as well, which if you click on that and then register and buy your first $100 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, you get $10 worth of Bitcoin free, and so do I. So it's a nice little win-win for both of us. Then you should probably switch over to GDAX so you don't pay any fees. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscription, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.